So let's talk about your experience with cancel culture, because this was fascinating to me that you raise this and bring this up in the film, which is that you did have an experience with cancel culture. And for our listeners that haven't seen the film yet, maybe you can give a little overview about what happened to you.
Yeah, I'll give a little overview without giving it away.
Yes, don't give it away.
So basically, when this film was announced, there was, I think, a very understandable, justifiable concern that if I'm not someone with lived experience in the sex industry myself, how dare I make a movie depicting these stories? And I think there was some concern that I might be anti sex worker or that I might be on one side or another of a debate. And it turned into people trying to cancel me, the whole movie.
That must have been terrifying for you, knowing that was not what your objective was, that you were trying to do the opposite than what people were trying to counsel you for. How did you navigate that?
I had to remind myself, first of all, I'm not Woody Allen. I'm not, Harvey Weinstein. I'm not
Right.
someone who is like blatantly misogynist. My point was that I needed to acknowledge where people feel vulnerable, where they feel like their narratives are not being respected, where they feel like they're not being centered. And if they want to destroy me, they're going to destroy me. There's certain stuff I can't control.
Was it educating people about what your objective was?
Yes, I put out a statement that was as clear as I could be about everything I'm saying to you. I'm not anti anyone. I interviewed sex workers across the spectrum. I interviewed people who, don't believe sex work is a thing because they think it's purely violence. I interviewed everybody along the continuum. My thing is, as we still need to say, believe women, listen to their experiences, let them give you their context, and that will help drive the conversation. But I knew that this was my film, that I needed to have my own experience of talking about my journey. No one else is an expert on my journey. And then the marketplace will do whatever it's going to do. Either people will watch it or they won't. But I knew that my job was to stay open, stay humble, stay teachable, and tell my truth.
Do you feel like you did get canceled or it was like a near cancellation?
It was a near cancellation, but it has a lot of fallout. And one of the things that makes me so sad is I feel like we get distracted from the
Oh,
actual
yes,
work.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, hang on a minute. I'm trying to progress the conversation. And now I've got to spend my time doing all this other stuff that has actually taken me away from what my goal is here and my purpose is here. This is the thing that upsets me so much about the contemporary state of feminism, which is that there's so much fighting about who's an intersectional feminist and who isn't, that meanwhile, the patriarchy is just looking at us going, these women just keep fighting amongst themselves about who's a feminist and who isn't. And we're just building power over here.
Laughing all the way to the bank.
Yes. And meanwhile, we could be spending that time growing our own strength, our own communities, trying to heal the wounds, trying to progress. It's really upsetting to me. It frustrates me a lot.
But here's the thing, there's so many powerful, brilliant feminist voices across genders, by the way.
Yes, absolutely.